And we are live on another edition of the K&K Sports Show, Wednesday, March 30th, almost April 1st, boys. Before we do this, let's do a couple of comments. Carson Claus, our great guy Carson, we'll see him tomorrow, saying you got this. What's up, Mr. Shear?
What's up, buddy? Check out Carson.
Hey, Carson.
Kenny, you're muted, I think, already.
Yep, check out Carson on Ticket Time.
Okay.
YT on Twitch.
And we're getting a what's up, boys, from yesterday's birthday boy, Mr. Ricky Winkowich. So happy birthday to our great friend Ricky out in New York.
Happy belated birthday, Ricky. Sorry I didn't message you. I had a busy night at work, but that's no excuse. Hope you had a good one, and hope you enjoyed it, and many more.
I did
Cheers.
message him, Kenny, so get
Cheers,
your game
buddy.
on, Mr. Kirkpatrick. All right, Mr. Rosen, how are you tonight?
Doing well. Looking forward to a great show tonight.
Mr. Sis, how are you?
Good. Hope everybody's good.
Mr. Sis is probably happy because his Seton Hall Pirates just got Shaheen Holloway, signed him to a six-year deal away from St. Peter. So congratulations on the hire, Mr. Sis.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you?
I'm doing good. Just had a nice dinner with Mr. Siciliano, and I'm ready to roll.
What was dinner tonight?
Nice little, almost like a chicken with paprika and, some stuffing and some green beans. We went all out.
I will say this, Mr. Siciliano is a fantastic cook. Fantastic.
Kurt, don't you recognize something different on Kenny tonight? Take a closer look.
I honestly, he's so small on my screen. What
Paul,
is
do
it?
you notice anything?
Wait, I can't see him. He's not a no. What? New glasses maybe?
Yeah.
Or
Keep
new
looking.
glasses. Keep looking.
Wait, what'd you say, sis? I can't hear you.
Keep looking. He doesn't have the Rumpelstiltskin beard anymore.
Oh, he went clean
yeah.
shaven.
Okay.
I like it, sis. I like you
Yeah.
getting on him. You're getting on him, sis. I like it.
Absolutely. You got to get on him. He's like a child.
See, I knew Sis was the Felix and Kenny was the Oscar.
Yep.
You better believe that.
I knew it.
This is the Ralph, and I'm the Ed.
Well,
the honey
there
onion.
you go.
You nailed
All right,
that.
now I
Paul.
see it.
Yeah.
What do we got on the agenda, Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Well, we got the obvious. We got March Madness. We got a little mock of March Madness. We'll get into that. We got Sis's Mind. We got baseball with Paul. We got mock draft 16 to 20, some Bronco Mania, and a little open agenda, whatever else comes on our minds.
Okay.
But let's get right on. Kurt, you got some quick hitters, and you've been excited for quick hitters.
Yeah,
tonight.
I'm excited for one quick hitter tonight. I'll be honest. It's my last one, and I'm not gonna go there right now. I'll save it for that one, but you guys have to have paper for that. But I want that one might take a couple of minutes, so I want to try to go through the other 9 quick. So let's try to make these quick. I'm gonna go Kenny, Sis, Paul. Here we go. Kenny, will Duke get the benefit of the whistle Saturday night versus North Carolina?
No, I think Final Four is going to be fair. I think it's going to be a fairly rough game.
Sis,
I'm going to say no.
Sis, will Duke get the benefit of the whistle Saturday night?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Paul, what do you think?
Depending on what time of the game it is, yes, I think so.
Okay. I'm with you guys, sis. I think they are going to get the benefit of the whistle. Second question. We have Bill Self, Hubert Davis, Jay Wright, and Mike Krzyzewski. Kenny, who is the best coach left in the Final Four?
Jay Wright.
Sis.
Ditto.
Paul.
I said it last week with the Sweet 16, Jay Wright, and I'll continue it tonight.
I like him too, but I can't go against Coach K, man. I can't go against him. Kenny, somebody said this the other day. Actually, Jay Williams from ESPN said that the UNC Duke national semifinal is the biggest game in NCAA tournament history. Is it? Yes or no?
I think so. It's the first time they're ever playing in the tournament. Yes.
Sis.
Again, I'm a little older than you guys, so I'm going to say no.
Paul.
Yeah, I'm in Sis's generation. I'm going to say no, too.
Okay.
Well, you were in our generation, Paul. You're not.
Thanks, Kenny.
Again,
I act like it, believe me.
breaking news within the last half hour. Sis is Seton Hall Pirates. Paul Mulvaney, Seton Hall Pirates. Just signed Shaheen Holloway to a 6, and Bobby Blackjack's Pirates. They signed them to a 6-year deal to become head coach at Seton Hall. My question, Kenny, in the next 6 years, will Shaheen Holloway get Seton Hall as far as he got with St. Peter's, meaning the Elite Eight?
Yes.
Sis.
Definitely.
Paul.
Without question.
Okay.
Can I give a reason why?
Sure.
Real quick. He is going to do an amazing job recruiting there now because his name got put on the map with St. Peter's. Everybody's going to probably want to go play for this guy.
Okay.
That team is going to get so many recruits, in my opinion.
Yeah. Probably also from Jersey, he'll probably keep some kids that may have gone out of state.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's a home run hire for him. He's a legend, alma mater, great hire for Seton Hall. Next one, women's hoops, and I'm telling you, I am so into this. Louisville, South Carolina, UConn, Stanford are the Final Four. Great games. If you didn't watch the UConn NC State game the other night, oh my God, what a game! It was double overtime, I think it was. Just insane game. So Louisville, South Carolina, UConn, Stanford. Kenny, who wins the national championship? And just so you know, Louisville, South Carolina, and Stanford are 1 seeds. UConn's actually a 2 seed.
UConn's a 2 seed, but their star was out for a little bit. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Gino gets it with UConn.
Okay. Sis?
I'm going to say Stanford.
Paul?
My heart says UConn, but I'm going to say Stanford also.
That's going to be a great game. 9 o'clock or 9:30 Friday night, Stanford, UConn national semifinal. Crazy. Let's move to NFL.
Who do you got, Kirk? Who do you got?
Yeah.
I'm going to go UConn.
I'm with you.
I think, though, the winner, whoever it's crazy because South Carolina might be the best team, and people are saying UConn's. It's nuts.
I forget the girl's name. She was out.
You know what? I got to take my word back. Paige Beckers.
Yeah, she was out for a little bit.
You know what? I'm sorry. I got to take my word. I got to go with Sis, and I got to go Stanford because you know who starts.
Boy.
You know who starts for Stanford, Sis? Russell Wilson's sister.
Sister, yeah, that's right.
So I'm going with Stanford. I'm rooting for Russ's sister. Let's go to NFL, Kenny. How many games will Deshaun Watson get suspended this year? It could be 0 to 16, whatever you want to say.
I'll say 8.
Sis.
The magic number is 6.
I like that. Paul.
Yeah, in my mind, that's what I was going to say. So 6.
All right, another NFL one. This is the quarterback still lingering out there. Where will week one, Kenny, where will Jimmy G be playing?
I'm going to say San Francisco.
Sis.
I'm going to go out on a limb here myself. I'm going to say Seattle.
That's a good one.
You think they would trade him in division? That would be my only question.
Yeah. If they don't want him, what are they going to do? If they're moving on, I think they will.
Yeah.
I do. Paul.
Yeah, I was going to say Seattle, but I'm going to say Carolina.
Okay. Real quick, this isn't a quick hitter, but I heard, actually, I'm going to make it a quick hitter. I heard this rumor. They're saying, again, opening night, that the schedule doesn't come out until after the draft, but there's a little rumor going around that opening night, that the Rams are going to be home on that Thursday night, raise the banner, and there's a rumor that it could be my Denver Broncos.
Wow.
What do you think about that, Mr. Russell Wilson, right out of the gate, national television at the Champs? What do you think of that, Kenny? Would you like to see that game?
I would watch that game. They got to do something
Amazing.
different than. Well, last year was okay, but the Sunday night game was Rams Bears. They got to give the
Yeah.
Rams a better opponent than the Bears in Week 1.
Sis, would you
Yeah.
like that opening night?
That's an awesome matchup. Well, that'll be a Thursday night, right?
Yeah, Thursday night.
That would be cool.
It's not official. They're just two different people said they heard a little rumor about it. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a fantastic matchup. You know, it's unfortunate because the Bucks are playing the Rams, but again in Tampa this year. And if they had been in Los Angeles,
They might have had that as the opener.
they may have had Brady back, and that could have been an amazing game too. But yeah,
Okay. My
would be
last one,
fantastic.
NBA. Rumors started yesterday, and I am very into this one. That Julius Randle, after the last game, went to management and said he wants out of New York this offseason. Kenny, will Randle be moved this offseason? Let me start this. Get him the hell out of here now. Kenny.
I think he gets moved because I do think Zion will be here. But Randall's not going to go back to New Orleans, but Zion will be here.
Eddie
Zion
Murphy
will
is saying Randall is a big baby. Sis, do the Knicks move Randall this year?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he doesn't want to be there tells you so. It's like Baker in Cleveland. He doesn't want to be there. Okay, so get rid of him.
Paul.
I'm not surprised. I think I said this to you guys months ago about him, and I'd get rid of him. We had talked about we could bring in somebody better. And yeah. I mean, he obviously doesn't want to be in New York. He can't handle the pressure. So get him the hell out of here.
I agree. Like yesterday. All right. And my last one, Eddie Murphy saying his contract isn't in effect till next season. Can't they just void it, or CBA doesn't allow that? CBA, I don't think allows it. He will get his contract, and I think they will move him. I think somebody will take on, he is a 20-point, 20-10 double-double, but get him out of here. Seriously. That's Kenny's boy. Get him out of here. All right. My last one. Everybody, you guys got your paper for this, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, this is not just a quick hitter. This is also for our boy, Mr. Briggsy, Michael Briggs, okay? As everybody knows, he was obviously a diehard Bronco fan, but he was also a diehard wrestling fan. This weekend happens to be WrestleMania. So I need you guys to write this down exactly. I'm gonna go slow, but write it down. Tell me when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Sis, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is, and put your name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next sentence. And I serve as the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed, universal champion.
My hand's getting tired, Kurt. How much more are we writing?
2 words. Brock Lesnar. And here's what we're going to do. You guys have the words. I am going to play it. It's about 10 seconds. I am going to play it, and I want you guys to listen to how it sounds. And then I'll tell you what we're going to do. So just allow me 10 seconds to play this. Here we go. Pay attention and listen. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I serve as the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed, universal champion, Brock Lesnar.
Okay, so
we're not screaming down here. There's too many dogs upstairs.
Well, no. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna do this for Briggsy, and this is gonna be my final quick hitter. We are gonna do the best imitation, and I will go first. I know Eddie Murphy is saying Paul Heyman's with Roman Reigns. I understand, but here's what we're gonna do. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kurt Valenti, and I serve as the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. Mr. Kirkpatrick, you are up next.
We can't do it here. We can't make too much noise here.
So don't make noise. You can do it low. You're up, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Fraud Slayer, and I serve as the advocate for Eddie Siciliano, the reigning, defending Universal Champion of Calvert County. Eddie Siciliano.
Very good. We're going to do Sis last. Mr. Rosen, you are up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Rosen, and I serve as the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar.
Very good. Eddie's saying, what, Kenny, you live in a senior retirement home? You can't make any noise?
No, I'm not waking the dog up and he barks for 5 hours.
And this is what I've been waiting for 2 weeks. Mr. Siciliano as Paul Heyman. Let's go, sis.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Edward Siciliano. I serve as the advocate for the universe, the nation, worldwide universe.
Oh,
I nominate
I'm crying.
Mr. Paul Rosen.
There you go. There you go. By the way, when we were doing this, I was doing this with Hoops, Paul, and I said, when you think about it, he says Paul Heyman. It really matches with Paul Rosen. It was like the perfect name.
It does.
But there you go, Mr. Kirkpatrick. That's what I wanted. That was for Briggsy. He has a smile on his face watching, and he's fired up for Saturday and Sunday.
That was good, Kurt. That was good.
That's wonderful.
We got a little puppy upstairs. I just didn't want to wake him up for 5 hours and barking, so that's why I didn't want to yell. But I'll take a rain check on it when we do a show and there's nobody home. I'll do my impression of it. Really
Okay.
good. All right, let's get into March Madness, boys. We're down to the final four. I think we should just go around the table. We'll just do a discussion. I got a couple questions for you guys, but we'll just take turns asking questions, topics. But why don't we get into the Kansas Nova game first, Kurt?
Okay. Listen, it's I will say this. It's a shame. You know, we were talking about it. We were talking about it all week with Eddie said we should have made the Briggs the champ. That's you know what, Kenny, that's the one you got to do on another show. You're going to do it with Briggsy as the champ. You know, Sis says it all the time about Jay Wright, how great of a coach he is. And you saw it again last week. Villanova with, impressive wins to get to another Final Four over Houston. They were the hottest team in the country, Houston, and Villanova slowed it down. The more injury does hurt, though. That's a big part of their offense. He only plays 7 guys. Now it's going to be 6, or he's going to the bench. But listen, and Kansas, man, Kansas was down 6 at half versus Miami, and they went on they outscored them 44 to 13 or something in the second half. That they just punished Miami, and Sis was all over Miami. We were all over Miami with those guards, and they had no answer. You know what? Kansas might be the most talented team in this country. It really is. I don't trust Bill Self though. But impressive, both of them coming in. That's my thoughts. Couple comments. Eddie saying, Duke versus Villanova. Duke wins it all. Coach Breslin, let's go UNC. Jay Wright does a great job. Yes, injury will hurt them. Think they struggle versus Kansas.
What's up, Coach Breslin? How you doing, buddy? Kurt, Sis, what's your thoughts on this game? Kansas Nova.
I think Kurt nailed it. This kid Moore being out for Villanova is a big minus. I feel if North Carolina does beat Duke and then gets to the final, I think they win it all no matter who they play.
Kenny, couple comments. Good friend and, of course, co-host of our show, Mr. Beeling. Good evening, fellas. Sorry I can't make it tonight. On my way home from work, but definitely watching. Maybe I'll hop on later. Coach Breslin
right,
is saying,
Beeling.
Kenny, how are you? Kenny, he's giving a...
Doing good, Coach. Doing good. Beelan, we'll see you later for sure. Paul, what are your thoughts on the Kansas and Nova matchup?
Yeah, well,
On the undercard, I want to say.
yeah. Ironically, Villanova and Kansas were my two picks in those brackets. Villanova, I picked to win it all. I mean, can you think of a better Final Four than these teams? I'm trying to rack my brain to think of a better Final Four, and it's just so damn impressive. I mean, you know, they kept referring to the Blue Bloods, and literally, these are four of the best college teams in history, if you will. So this game is going to be tough. I mean, Kurt, you said it. Kansas in the second half of that game on Sunday was impressive.
Nuts.
Blew Miami out, especially after the way Miami controlled the first half. They just turned it on. And like you said, Moore being out is going to be a big loss to them. The kid that they will use was a 5-star recruit from Jersey. So hopefully he didn't play too much in the previous few games, but maybe he'll step up. I mean, you know, they just need one more win to get to the final. So hopefully Villanova will continue to march, but I think it's going to be not just a great game, but I think it's going to be a close game.
I agree. And it's funny, it's the Blue Bloods. All four teams are blue and white. I don't know if that's ever happened before. That's just a little fun fact there. All four teams' colors. But Kansas, I think, is going to be a little too much for Nova. But if anybody can pull this off with a 6-man rotation and maybe a 7th guy off the bench, it's Jay Wright because of the way they play. This game's going to be in the high 50s, low 60s. Nova has a chance. You know, but if Kansas gets into the 70s, if this game's in the 70s, I think it's going to be too much for Villanova. But I'm looking forward to this game as on the undercard. I'm calling it, you know. But I think Kansas is going to be a little too much for them in the end. But I hope I'm wrong because I am rooting for Villanova. Let's move on to the next game. I'll start this one with Paul. The main event. Duke in North Carolina. And I mean, ironically, they've never faced each other in a tournament.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Ken.
No, I was just going to say, take it over and start us off.
I mean, you know, you couldn't have drew this up on a better situation. I mean, so many storylines in this game. Obviously, it could be Coach K's last game, or he can get to the championship. Obviously, the fact that they're playing North Carolina, they hated rival for years and years. So, I mean, there's just so many aspects of this game. It's almost too good to be true. And again, I think it's going to be a very close game. I think both teams are going to be obviously they want to get to the final, and I think it's going to be another amazing game. And I see. I'm going to say it with my heart. I think Duke is going to pull it out for Coach K and get to the finals at this point. So that's where I'm going at this point.
I'm going to go to Sis next. His thoughts on this game.
Even though Duke beat them, North Carolina beat Duke the first time, sorry. All I'm going to say about this game, it's going to be in the fourth quarter, last 2 minutes of the game, and I think whoever plays the best on the last 2-3 minutes of the game wins this game. That's all I'm going to say about this game.
Kurt.
I'm just going to – you know what's really ironic is think about this. If North Carolina wins, North Carolina beat Coach K in his last game at Cameron, and then he'll beat him in his last game in the NCAA tournament. But I'm going to say this. If you guys remember, you know, that game, and again, that game at Duke, 200 people, 200 ex-players or whatever it was there. Duke was like up by 9, running them up and down. And I don't want to say they got complacent, but I don't know if the moment was too big for this Duke team, like being young and so much pressure on them. But the thing, like after the game, if you guys remember, Coach K came out, they had this whole ceremony, and Coach K came out and he said, this is unacceptable. He said, I'm sorry to the fans, but this is unacceptable. And I'm going to tell you, those words, and North Carolina, and I know Nick Delahanty's a fan, and Matt Pizzichatto's is a fan, and hey, they're going to bask in the front. They don't want this Duke team. Because that loss, these Duke kids for that month and a half have on their back is that this team, our rival, ruined our coach's last game in Cameron Indoor Arena, where it was supposed to be a celebration for him. And he was hot. He was hot. And when those words, it's unacceptable, I'm telling you, Duke is not going to lose this game.
Well, the thing that was impressive, excuse me real quick, he said, like you said, he was hot. He said, this is not our last game. That's what I remember him saying.
Yep, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's, I just think these kids, and again, not that North Carolina's not going to battle. I just think, man, it's like these kids failed him once. They're not going to fail him again. That's just...
maybe losing that game might be a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why. I just go back to the end of the 2007 football season when the Giants lost to the Patriots and the Patriots went undefeated, but they were in that game until the almost very end.
Yep.
And to a man, they felt, you know what, we played toe-to-toe with this undefeated team and we'll see them again.
Yep.
So here we are again, North Carolina, Duke. I think loss might give them enough of an advantage this time.
And you know what? Vegas talks. Vegas wants everybody to take North Carolina in this game. Vegas has to make money. Everybody's going to jump on North Carolina. You're going to get Duke in the final. I've been talking to Sis about this the other day. Duke is going to be in this final. And then we'll see. We'll get to that point when in the final, but I think they're going to get by this hurdle like Kurt and everybody, Paul and Sis all said. I think they're going to get by this hurdle and get to that final game. And we'll see them next week in the final.
But I'll tell you this, Kenny, the kid Bancaro, I mean, he was a man. He is just, he took that game over. And, the kid Roach is good. Griff, I mean, they really might have the most. I mean, I know we said Kansas, but I mean, they're going to have 5 first-round picks from this team. I mean, this team is loaded. But like Paul said, maybe they needed that. There was maybe too much pressure on them at Cameron in front of 200 greats and all that stuff. And remember, they were up 9 in that game, running Carolina off the court. And hey, to give Carolina credit, they came back. But I don't know. I just remember those words of it's unacceptable. And I think those kids are carrying with him. They can't let him down on this game. That's my thoughts.
I got one more question, and then I want to get our picks, and then our picks in the Final Four, and then our champion. I know we're going to do it tomorrow for Wits and Wagers, but for our Wednesday show, I want to get our picks as well. But I got a question I want to ask you guys, and I want to start this one with Kurt. So I'm curious what your answer is going to be, because this has to kind of do with college football a little bit too. But my question is, Kurt, in March Madness, in this tournament, why do we see so many upsets, especially lately? St. Peter's this year is a 15 seed, got all the way to the Elite Eight. A couple years ago, Maryland, Baltimore County beats Virginia in round 1. 99 out of 100 times, Kentucky's beaten St. Peter's. Why is it that 1 out of 100 in the tournament? Kentucky choking? Is it St. Peter's better than people think? A little bit combo of both. What are your thoughts on why is there so many upsets in March Madness?
I'll be quick on this, and I was talking about this today, and you guys were talking about the women's game, right? And I'm gonna say coaching and strategy, right? Because I was joking around about Iowa. We all had Iowa. They got knocked out by Richmond. And today on ESPN, I got up in the morning. I'm watching Get Up or one of those shows. whatever the one, I don't know what the name of the show is, and it says the number 5 prospect in the country, Keegan Murray from Iowa, right? The NBA is saying he's the number 5 NBA prospect, is going into the NBA draft. So going back to that game, you're playing Richmond. You have the number 5 guy in the draft, and he doesn't get a shot in 12 minutes, right? Then I'm watching the game Sunday night. I'm watching UConn women, right, sis? And you tell me, sis, if this is coaching or not. They have Paige Beckers. From 3 minutes left in a game, they were down 1 to a double overtime. She took every shot. She had the ball in her hands. It's coaching. Like, that's why. Like, we joke around with Matt Painter. Sis, you have the comment of the year when I'm talking to Sis the other day, and I said, what do you think? And Kenny says, Sis said, stop scratching your head and coach. You have a guy 7'3" that St. Peter's can't stop. They take him out of the game.
Tallest guy was 6'9".
They take him out of the game. Why? Just give him the ball every time. Go into him every time. Coach.
You're gonna be on the 12th and 13th man on the bench because we're all gonna be in foul trouble. You just keep beating the guy. It's no brainer.
You know, you watch Carolina the other day. They didn't jerk around. They went inside. They played layup. They didn't shoot 83s against like Kentucky. Kentucky can't shoot foul shots, and they're shooting 33-pointers against St. Peter's. They're just playing into their hands. If they would go to Kentucky, same thing with Illinois, right? With the guy we always joke about, sis, with Kofi. Kofi doesn't, he gets 8 shots. How? I think personally, coaching.
Fair enough.
And Coach Breslin saying he was on the bench, LOL. It was crazy.
It was crazy. Sis and I were watching that game. We couldn't believe he was on the bench almost the whole second half.
I mean, why?
He's a foot taller than anybody else on St. Peter's. The kids from St. Peter's would have been in foul trouble in minutes. There's nobody that could stop him. Sis, why do you think there's so many upsets in March Madness?
First of all, they're all 19, 22-year-old kids.
Good point. Real good point.
Number one. And number two, if I'm on Kentucky, let's be realistic. It would be like when I was at Seton Hall playing football. We played against Hofstra and CW Post. Now all of a sudden you're playing a pansy team. So if you don't have the mindset, it's real easy to overlook. And in my opinion, I think that's exactly what happened in this tournament with all these teams. They overlooked the little guy, St. Peter's, and guess what? You got crushed.
Sis, hold on, sis. I want to ask Sis this question, okay? Because his comment that night was, "Stop scratching your head and coach." Right?
Well, I wasn't even trying to be funny.
I know. I know.
Watching television, and the guy's got his hands in his face, and the game's going on. I'm like, what is he doing?
Sis, this guy Edie is 7'4", okay? Against St. Peter's, like Kenny's saying, their biggest guy could be what? Seriously, 6'8"? 6'9". Okay, so 7'4", and he was, I didn't even believe this. I just checked this out. He was 5 for 7 from the field for 11 points. How many minutes you think he played in this regional semifinal?
I would say, I'm going to guess and say 10 to 12, number one. And then did you hear his statement about why he didn't play more?
No.
He said, well, still growing, and, he's making the little mistakes where he should be going to his left and going back to his right. Again, kid's 11 feet high. How do you not play?
17 minutes, sis, in a 40-minute game.
That's pathetic.
Wow.
17 minutes.
That's crazy.
He should be fired.
He wasn't in foul trouble.
No fouls. I don't think he had one foul.
No foul trouble.
And he probably went to the line 10 times in that 17 minutes.
Did you notice how the TV people kept putting the camera on him?
Yeah.
Like they were saying to themselves, why is this kid in the game?
So think about it. 3 player of the year. I mean, I'm not saying he's a player of the year, but he's big. Him, Kofi gets no touches. And the Iowa kid just 12 minutes didn't even get a shot. How you not calling 6 timeouts there saying, get him the ball, and you lose to Richmond? That's how.
Right.
Yep. Paul, you want to add anything on why
Yeah.
there's so many upsets?
I mean, obviously, Kurt and Sis make good points. The only other point I would make is there's so many good players now, and the difference, the margin between what a Kentucky player would be versus maybe what a St. Peter's player would be at this point is not that great. So you have a coaching situation, you have a team that may take another team for granted, like St. Peter's, and you have pretty decent players on that team, like St. Peter's. It's a perfect formula for an upset. And I think in this tournament, that's what we saw.
I agree.
Oh, yep, agree 100%. Kurt, let's get into our Final Four picks and then our national champions. So I'll start with Final Four. I'll do it in the same order. You, Sis, Paul, me. Kansas, Nova, Kurt. Who comes out on top?
I really don't want to do this because I don't. I'm so big on the coaches, and I just think Jay Wright's one of the best, if not the best. And I'm not a big Bill Self fan, but without Moore, you know what? And I just like Sis said, if it gets, Villanova's going to have to play this to a snail pace. I mean, they're just so explosive. Kansas. I'm gonna take Kansas. I'm gonna regret it, but I'm gonna take Kansas. And on the other game, you want the other one, Kenny?
Yeah, let's do both.
Okay.
Let's do both.
All right. I'm going Duke. I mean, I'm just you know what? It got to the part of, and, I always say they need, whether it's injuries, you need a little luck, right? You need a little luck and you need things to wear out, So they got by Michigan State, who's great coach Carson's Michigan State team with Izzo. You got by that. Down 5, you go on a 9-0 run, you win it. Then you beat a tough Texas Tech team. Now you don't have to play Gonzaga, right? You play Arkansas. You get by them. Listen, I know my sister Jody. Jody says she's going to say it's fixed. Coach K's going to win this thing and walk off. I'm going to go Duke.
Give us your champion, Kurt, because we're running a little behind.
Duke.
Duke's going to win it all. Sis, how about you? Kansas, Nova.
Well, again, I think Kurt nailed it. I'm gonna take Kansas here. Wright's a great coach, but I just think overall Kansas has a little bit too much team speed and physicalness to them. The other game, I'm gonna go with Duke. I'm gonna take Coach K because the guy's a legend, and I would like to see him win the whole thing. And I think Kurt nailed it before thoroughly because me and him both played high school and college and whatever. Those kids are going to make a commitment because they felt like they let their coach down. So I'm sure that hit a home run with those kids. And I'm going to take Duke to win the whole thing.
Paul, how about you? Who are your choices here?
Yeah, I mean, I picked Villanova and Kansas in each of the brackets to get to the Final Four. They did it. I'm going to go with Villanova. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'm going to pick Villanova over Kansas only because I have them going into the championship game. Duke and North Carolina. Again, my heart probably says Duke. I'm going to go with Duke, and because I did pick Villanova to go and win the whole thing, so I'll continue, and I can't back out now in the championship game. So I'm going to say Villanova to win the championship.
I'll make mine short and sweet. If Villanova had more, I was going to take Villanova. I think Kansas is going to have too much depth for Villanova in the end. I think it's going to be a very close competitive game, but I think Kansas comes out on top. In the second game, I think Duke gets its revenge in North Carolina, and we're going to see a Kansas-Duke national championship. But I think hearts are going to be broken, and Duke loses in the national championship to Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks, raise the trophy. And storybook ending comes to an end in the national championship game. That's my prediction. So that's our Final Four predictions. Anything else real quick, guys, before I do our little March Sadness, Sour 16.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a little mock bracket for you guys. This is called March Sadness Sour 16. And these are 16 of the worst coaches in NFL history. And we'll do these pretty quick. I'm just going to let you three guys pick. I'm not going to pick so it goes faster. So Elan's not here, so I'm not going to be the tiebreaker. But our number 1 seed, Kurt, is Rod Rust. We all know him from the Patriots that one year. He was with the Patriots. He won in 15. And Josh McDaniels, the Raiders' new head coach, is the 16 seed. I'll go you, Sis, Paul, until I see it on there. Who advances, Kurt?
Rust.
Sis.
Rust.
And Paul.
Russ.
Our 8 and 9 seed, Sis and Paul are going to love this one. Wish Beelan was here, Kurt. It has our number 8 seed, Joe Judge, versus the number 9 seed, Adam Gaze.
God.
I'm going to go Gaze.
You're going Gaze? Okay. Sis.
I'm going with Kurt. I'm going with Gates.
Wow. I thought you were going to go Judge. Paul.
As bad as Gaze was, I have to go with JJ.
Okay. Well, Gaze advances.
That's
the 9
Joe
seed.
Judge shine my shoes.
Our 5 and 12 seed, Kurt. Hugh Jackson with a 3-36 record, whopping 3-36 with the Browns, versus the 12 seed Bill O'Brien. This is just NFL, not college.
I'm going to take Hugh Jackson. Bill O'Brien won playoff games.
Yeah.
More of a bad GM, I guess, right? All right, Sis.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm going to go Bill O'Brien.
And Paul, you decide the tiebreaker here.
Jackson.
I'm going to change the order. This way, Paul's not always the tiebreaker. I'm going to rotate the order a little bit here. Kurt, Sis, our 4 seed is Mr. Richie Kotite. And our 13 seed,
against Joe Walton, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Hell of a college coach, but a terrible NFL coach, Mr. Steve Spurrier, the 13 seed.
Who was the first one?
Richie Kotite.
Steve Spurrier any day of the week. Richie Kotite.
No, this is worst.
This is the worst.
Oh, this is the worst? Yeah, Richie Kotite. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Paul.
Definitely Rich Kotite.
Kurt, you clean sweeping it?
Yep.
All right. 6 and 11. This is a tough one. Paul, Marty Moenrig, known for deferring to defense when there was no overtime. Was win and score against the 0-16 Rod Marinelli Lions as the 11th seed.
Rob Marinelli.
Kurt.
Marinelli.
Sis, you clean sweeping it?
Yeah, that's a clean sweep. I hope you got Ali Sherman in here somewhere.
Coach
Kenny,
Coach Breslin saying is Rich Kotite versus Urban Meyer in the finals, guys. Winner Urban Meyer.
Hold on, Coach. You're jumping the gun here. You're gonna see who I got.
I hope Ali Sherman's in this.
Kurt, I didn't know Ali Sherman. I did only the coaches I seen, Sis. We'll have to.
No problem.
Number 3 seed, Sis's favorite guy, Ray Hanley, Kurt.
Yep.
Against Mike Singletary.
Oh, Hanley.
Singletary's the 14 seed, by the way. Sis.
Singletary and who else?
Your buddy Ray Hanley.
Put him right on the top of the list now. Right on the top.
Paul, you're clean sweeping it. I'm not even asking you.
Without thank you.
Sis, you're starting this one. Norv Turner, the 7th seed, versus another one of our Giants guys and a Kurtz guy, Pat Shurmur, the number 10 seed.
Again, I mean, Turner's a great offense. He's just not a head coach, and
Right.
some guys are like that. But put Kurt's boy right on the top.
My ex, not no more.
My bad.
More.
Kurt's ex offensive coordinator.
And Paul, how about you?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Shurmur?
Oh, absolutely.
Kurt, you're sweeping it
Yes, sir.
for the record? Okay. And our number 2 seed for Mr. Coach Breslin, Urban Meyer, the number 2 seed,
Hmm.
against another one of Kurt's boys. And Sis, you're starting this one. Vic Fangio gets the 15 seed.
Put him right up there. He stinks.
Urban or Vic?
Vic.
Ooh, isn't up. Paul.
I'm going Urban Meyer.
Kurt gets to decide this one.
Listen.
That's easy. That's easy.
You know what? I can't say this because I have too much interest
Is
in
Vic
this one,
Fangio
Teddy.
going to be the March Sadness' St. Peter's?
You know what? Fangio still, I'll say this about Fangio. He still he started the whole thing with stopping the Chiefs. I'm going Urban Meyer.
All right, we'll do these quick because we got only a couple. We're in the second round, Kurt. Sis, Paul, you start. Rod Russ versus Adam Gaze.
Adam Gaze.
Sis.
Ditto.
Yeah,
And
me
Kurt
too.
sweeping it.
Yeah.
Gaze upsets in the number 1 seed. Okay. Richie Kotite, Kurt versus Rod Marinelli.
Kotite.
Sis.
Kotite.
Paul, you sweeping it?
Correct.
So we got Kotite and Gaze in the final 4. Who else we got here? We got Hanley against Hugh Jackson.
Hanley.
Sis.
I'm telling you now, he's the winner. Hanley. He's the worst coach ever in football.
Hey, our
you
good
sweeping
friend
it?
Keith Brugman, Kenny,
We'll
saying,
sweep
does
it.
Nick Saban get any love here?
He would have been in there. If I only did a Sweet 16, Nick Saban would have been in there, Keith. I only did a Sweet 16. You're sweeping that one, Paul. I don't have to ask you, right?
Thank you.
Easy, son. Take it easy.
Kurt, Shermer or Meyer?
Meyer.
Sis.
Pat. River.
Paul.
I'm going with Sis.
All right. For final 4.
You know what's
matchup.
sad? The Final Four is all New York coaches.
I know. I was thinking
Two
the
Jets
same
and
thing,
2
Kurt.
Giants.
Yes.
All right. Well, our Jets are going up against each other. Adam Gaze versus Richie Kotite. Kurt.
Kotite.
Sis.
Ditto.
And Paul.
Yeah, I'll go with Richie.
Hanley against Hanley against Pat Shermer, actually, right? Kurt.
Hanley.
Sis, Hanley.
That's a foot race Hanley could win running backwards.
Paul.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ray.
Oh, this is it, Kurt. Kotite against Hanley. Worst coach all time. In
I'm going with
KK
Sis.
square.
I'm going Ray Hanley.
That a boy, Valenti.
Sis, for the record, what are you going to say here?
Watch. Mr. Hanley. I would have played for him if you would have put me on the team for free.
Oh, that's funny.
Congratulations, Ray Hanley, for being the worst coach of all time. Also, a member of the Fraud of Shame, inaugural Fraud of Shame, which will
Did
be
you
doing.
ask Paul? Did you ask Paul? His
Oh yeah, Paul. I need your comments on what Ray.
Yeah, I
Hanley.
mean, you had the 2 votes for him anyway, but yeah, I would have swept.
made it a landslide. Yeah.
that
Thank
was
you.
a little fun little mock on the brackets there, boys.
Guys, we got
Very
a little
good.
breaking news. NFL breaking news. You ready for this?
Who's traded now?
No. Tampa Bay Bucks head coach Bruce Arians is retiring and moving to a front office role. The new head coach of Tampa Bay,
John Gruden.
Todd Bowles.
What?
Whoa.
No kidding.
That just came over the wire, huh?
Came over the wire.
Wow.
I'm surprised they didn't give it to Leftwich.
Say goodbye to Tampa Bay. He's a great defensive coach.
Yeah.
Head coach.
Let me ask you this. There were some rumors that Brady stepped aside because he didn't like Arians. Anything to do with him coming back and not wanting to play for him?
You know, let me, if I can jump in here. There have been a lot of rumors down here in Florida about that, and you know, everyone's taken the professional line on that. But I'll tell you, it wouldn't shock me if Jason Lick went to Bruce Arians and said, listen, I'm hitching the wagon to the GOAT one more year. So we'll pay you off. We'll bump you up. You're not going to lose your salary. But we're going with Tommy Boy here. So
and couple comments, Keith saying, wow, Leftwich gets the snub, and Coach Breslin.
Yeah.
And another rumor saying, no way, what happened to Leftwich? But here's what he said, and here's rumors. They said, I know it was Tom Brady and Sean Payton to the Dolphins, but he's saying Brady to the Dolphins, here we go. Could this thing happen?
I know.
It very well could, it very well could. I could see it happening.
Brady, they are building, not that it matters so far from Tampa to Miami, but they are building a fortress down in this billionaire island down in Miami, for what it's worth. So who knows? I mean, is it possible? Yeah.
I agree.
And they're saying where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So more than couple different outlets already have been saying that this Brady to Dolphin thing has some smoke. So who knows?
Wow. All right. Well, Kurt, let's move on to what's on Sis's mind. I'm going to give him the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, most of the stuff that we already discussed, for example, my first thing what was on my mind, did St. Peter sneak up on Kentucky and Purdue? So, I mean, we can answer that, and we'll go in.
Yeah, let's answer it, Sis.
Okay, we'll go in order with Paul, Kurt, and Kenny. So, do you think St. Peter snuck up on Kentucky and Purdue? Paul?
I think they stuck up on Kentucky. I think Purdue maybe sat up straight in their chairs, but I think they were outcoached. And I think after St. Peter's won, everyone said, what the hell just happened? So
okay. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Kurt?
By the way, Keith is saying, did Todd Bowles get the job because of his initials, TB? You know what? I agree with Paul, Sis. I think they definitely snuck up on Kentucky, but I just think we could sit here with Matt Painter and they got totally outcoached and just gaffed in that Purdue game.
Kenny?
I agree. I think they definitely snuck up on Kentucky. I think they snuck up on Murray State too, because I think Murray State thought they, might have had a cakewalk there too. Oh, they beat Kentucky. They ain't going to beat us. But Purdue is all about the coaching. That's the reason why St. Peter's beat them. Purdue is so much more talented than St. Peter's, and like I said, you put those five on a street on a street court, and they're winning by 40 without Matt Painter coaching them. So Matt Painter lost that game by himself. So yeah. Yes, they've got caught up on Kentucky. No, not on Purdue.
Okay, back to Paul. Are people pulling for Duke because of what Kurt said earlier, that Coach K lost his final game at Cameron? Do you think people are pulling for Duke basically to win the whole thing, is my question.
Yeah, I think without a doubt. There's so much sentiment toward Coach K. So, yeah, I think so.
I agree. Kurt?
You know what, Sis? And you know me, I've never been like a Duke fan or a Coach K fan. I think he's a great coach, but I would always root against Duke. I wouldn't want to see him win. Mm-hmm. This is totally opposite. I want to see him win. And you know what? Particularly because he lost that game, that UNC beat them in Cameron. I want to see him beat UNC, and I want to see him win it and go out in style.
I don't think I feel the same way. I don't want him to win. I never was a Duke fan. Never was a North Carolina fan. So whoever wins that game, I'm rooting. I want Villanova to win it all. But if Kansas wins, I want Kansas to win it all. I'm not a fan of Duke and Carolina. Never will be. So I can't find myself rooting for them. If I had to pick a somebody I want to win. I want to see Duke in the final, but I'm not going to root for them to win it all.
Okay. Back to Kurt. Out of the 4 teams, Kurt, which team will choke in the tournament? Your opinion, obviously.
I'm going to say Carolina because I think they could get 3-point happy, and I could see them, shooting 33s in the game. And I'll say Carolina out of the 4.
Paul?
I don't know if I'd say choke, but I'll use the word frustrated. And I agree with Kurt. I think North Carolina could become frustrated at some point and maybe start throwing up threes and doing things that maybe they didn't do, getting to the Final Four. So I don't necessarily think it's a choke, but maybe more out of frustration based on how Duke might be playing them.
Penny?
I agree with Kurt, North Carolina, and this is my bold prediction on how that game's going to go. Carolina is going to be up at half by 8 to 10 points. Coach K is going to make the adjustments in the locker room and fire the troops up. And North Carolina, like they almost blew a 25-point lead and lost the game to Baylor. They're going to blow the 10-point lead and lose to Duke in the Final Four.
Okay. This isn't winning it. This is just your opinion. Who's the best coach left in the tournament? Coach K, Davis, Self, or Jay Wright? And again, it's got nothing to do with who wins it or whatever.
I said it before, sis. I mean, I want to say Jay Wright, but I can't go against Coach K, man.
This is a tough
Coach
question.
K.
Paul?
It's a great question. I mean, I picked Villanova to go this far because of Coach Wright, so I'm going to say Coach Wright.
Kenny?
I'm with Paul. I'm giving the edge to Coach Wright because I think Coach K gets the top recruiting class every year, where Jay Wright is like a top 5 to 10 recruiting class every year. So just by a little slight margin, I'm going to give it to Jay Wright.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Jay Wright's the best coach left in this tournament. Paul, back to you. Who has an advantage here with the height and the rebounding out of all these four teams, in the tournament left? With the height and the rebounding, who has an advantage?
I think Kenny said it earlier. I think Kansas definitely has the advantage in that game against Villanova.
Kurt?
It's tough, man. And UNC's got the big kid who's doing phenomenal. I mean, again, Duke's got 5 first-round picks possibly on this team. And listen, Villanova, they're going to have an answer for Kansas. That's the thing. Like, I think Kansas, honestly, is probably a 10-point, better than Villanova. But the Jay Wright difference. I mean, Jay Wright versus Bill Self. You know what? I'm still going to go Duke, man. You know why? Because I think the best player in the tournament is Ben Caro. And they still have a center. I'm going to go Duke.
Kenny?
Close between Kansas and Duke. I'm going to give it to Kansas because of Moore being out for Villanova. They're going to have a bigger advantage against Villanova. And then that'll balance out versus Carolina and Duke. But I think going in, I think Kansas is going to be the top rebounding team left going into the Final Four.
Back to Kurt. Doesn't have to be on the same team. Who are the best 2 guards left in this tournament out of these 4 teams? Could be one guy from one team, one guy from another.
Is Ben Caro a guard, Kenny, or is he a forward? What's Ben Caro from Duke? You know what? I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go, as crazy as this sounds, I'm going to go Remy Martin from Kansas. He actually doesn't even start. He's their 6th person, but he changes the game. And I'm going to take Gillespie.
Gillespie, I knew you would. Mm-hmm. Paul?
Yeah, Gillespie would have been one. I don't know all the players on both Duke and Carolina, but Gillespie would be there definitely for me.
Kenny.
Not lying to you, I got it written in red. I wrote it down. Remy
Just wrote it
Martin,
down now. We know that.
Remy Martin, and Gillespie. Yes, Kurt, our minds are thinking
There it
alike.
is.
Remy Martin, I've watched
You
what he's
gave the
been
answers and you wrote them down on the table.
doing. Gillespie changes, when he's on, he's unstoppable. But Remy Martin, I just watching him play is coming
Phenomenal,
off the
man. He
bench,
changes
like
the
you
whole
said.
game.
He has been on fire. So those would be my two choices too, to be honest with you.
Back to Mr. Valenti for the final question. How many players in number-wise, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, does Mr. Holloway take with him from St. Peter's to my alma mater, Seton Hall? 1, 2.
I'm gonna say one.
Okay.
One.
Paul?
I'll say 2.
Kenny?
I'm with Paul. I'm going to go 2, and I'm going to name the 2. I think the kid from Nutley, Edie. It's not Edie. What was his name?
Now, just remember one thing. I understand. See, I understand that they had a nice little run. But remember, they're in St. Peter's for a reason, too. I mean, you're going into the Big East. Like, these kids didn't eat up the MEAC.
Right.
So, now you're going against the big boys. Like this kid, the shooter from St. Peter's, ain't just going to walk in and play in Big East basketball. I mean,
Right.
what did he do versus North Carolina? I mean,
Yeah,
that's the only difference, where you're not transferring from Duke to Carolina. You're transferring into a whole nother element now. So that's why I would just say,
Great point.
Yeah.
make sure they wish for, before you do it.
I think that one of the kids with the pink shoes, I like the way he handles the ball. And I think that there's the big kid, I forget, he had the big hair. I thought he might be fit into like the Seton Hall mold there. Not saying they're going to start, but they come off the bench over there,
Again, remember, you're given a full scholarship that your Seton Hall, you could recruit a lot better.
Yeah.
So,
It's a great point.
Yeah,
Good
point, Kurt.
That's a good point.
Eddie's saying breaking news about the Bruce Arians, and Coach Breslin saying Holloway to Seton Hall, that was a done deal as soon as when St. Peter's was eliminated.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, that wraps up what's on Sis's mind.
Thank you, Sis. I read one more thing tonight. It said that obviously St. Peter's couldn't match any money that Seton Hall did, but it's saying that they made a real big offer to try to keep him in St. Peter's. I mean, the numbers didn't come out.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
But said that they massively. I think he made $300,000 at St. Peter's.
Not even.
Right?
232,000, I think it was.
And they're saying that he's at least going to make between $2 and $3 million at Seton Hall.
The alumni coin kicked in with that, I heard. He was going to put $2 million towards the program.
Coach Breslin saying, I don't think anyone from Peters is going to Seton Hall.
But yeah, you brought up a good point, Kurt. I might be changing my mind there. I didn't think the scholarship thing there.
He's going to write that down on the paper next.
No, I'll go with my original prediction too, but I could definitely. I know you are, but that was a good segment, Sis. Let's move on to Paul. Paul's got baseball for us tonight, I believe.
Okay.
Whoa. What happened to the Giants? Baseball. What? Did you turn your colors?
You used up all your answers for the Giants last week, so.
How's the good one?
So with baseball right around the corner next week, I just wanted to have a few sort of quick hitters. Let's do Sis, Kurt, and then Kenny. All right. Will Aaron Judge become a free agent? Yes or no? Sis?
No. I'm going to say no.
Kurt?
I'm with Paul. I'm with Sis. No.
Kenny?
I agree, unfortunately. I think he should be a free agent, though.
Okay. Do you want him to be a free agent?
Yes.
Why?
I feel he's a little overrated. I don't know. I'd just rather see I don't want to see him get $30 million a year for 10 years, and we're stuck with him till he's 38, 39 years old, and that's what's going to happen. I don't want to see that.
Do the Mets have the best pitching rotation in baseball? And I'll give you some other names: Brewers, Dodgers, Blue Jays, White Sox, Giants, Astros, Braves, Yankees, and Phillies. Sis?
Yeah, I think they do, to be honest with you. They're stacked. Mm-hmm.
Kurt?
And you know what, Paul? I think I always go to when I always look at postseason, and nobody's putting up Scherzer and DeGrom. Mets hands down.
Numbers, yeah.
Yeah. Kenny?
I'm going to go with the Mets 1-2 punch there. I mean, it's scary, but I'm going to give you a sleeper if one of those Mets guys gets hurt, for example. The Brewers are a sleeper for that top pitching rotation.
Yeah, you're right. They have a very good rotation.
The Cy Young Award winner Burns is there.
Right.
Wandy Peralta. They're a sleeper team
Yeah.
Small market that doesn't get recognized.
I mean, as good as DeGrom and Scherzer could be, and obviously every Met fan is hoping, this kid that they got from Oakland, Bassett,
Yep.
be as a third starter.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. He can probably be a 1 or a 2 for most teams. So for them to get him as a number 3 starter.
And Paul, Uncle Stevie, when that trade deadline comes around and there's, a team that's out of it and they have pitching, he's going to get them.
Yeah.
So he's going to
get
them.
Again, we talked about it last week. It comes down to help with these guys. And as most pitchers anyway, especially now with the shortened spring training. But if these guys can stay healthy. So that sort of leads me to my next question. Is DeGrom and Matt Scherzer the best 2 Mets pitchers pitching together in their history? And I'll give you 3 other choices: Tom Seaver and Jerry Koosman, Dwight and Ron Darling, and Jacob DeGrom and Matt Harvey. Sis?
Boy, that's a tough one, man. That's really too tough to answer, but I'm going to say Darling and the other guy you said. I forgot who it was, but
Darling and Gooden?
Yeah, Gooden. I met Gooden in person when I was working in the gym in Newark, but he was a pretty cool guy. I would say those two, yeah.
Guys, real quick, Matt Staffiero, our great friend, #RockChalkJayhawk, coming in a tad late, gents. You know what? I'm going to answer it like this, Paul. I don't know if it's how you want me to answer it. I think if you take 1 and 2 together, I'll be honest, I don't really, I mean, I know of Jerry Koosman. I know Seaver was all world. I don't remember Koosman, I know he was a great pitcher, but I'm going to say just individually, I think they have the potential to be the best because I think Scherzer as the number 2, if Scherzer's Scherzer, I think he's better than any other number 2. So I will say yes to that.
Okay. Kenny?
Kind of agree with Kurt, which is scary, but I agree with Sis. Right now, we haven't seen Scherzer and DeGrom. So to answer your question, yes, they could be. I think the best was Gooden and Darling because Gooden on that Mets team.
Yeah, good point, Kenny.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
So,
here's my 2 cents. I mean, I'm a lot older than you guys, and I saw Seaver right from his beginning of his career. And the guy, if he was pitching now, I can't tell you how much money he would be making. That was unbelievable. Okay. Obviously, everything that he's received in terms of the franchise name and everything. Koosman, for all those years as the second pitcher, was phenomenal and probably could have been a number 1 pitcher on probably 80%, 90% of the teams in baseball back then. So these 2 guys now, DeGrom and Scherzer, certainly if they can stay healthy, they can probably be as good because I think both will eventually get into the Hall of Fame as Seaver did. So, we're looking at 2 guys that ultimately will probably be Hall of Famers. I'm sorry, Beelan isn't here, but who will have a better year, Freddie Freeman or Matt Olson?
Go ahead, sis.
For $160 million, you better be Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with sis. I'm gonna go Freddie Freeman too.
What do you think, Kenny?
I'm going to go Freddie Freeman only because I think Olsen's going to have that pressure to start the season in Atlanta to get off to a hot start. And if he doesn't, he could be in for a long year.
Yeah. I think Olsen is going to face better pitching in the National League East than maybe Freeman will with the Dodgers. So
Freeman's going to feast on the Rockies and Diamondbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Are the Yankees being run better now with Hal Steinbrenner or when George Steinbrenner ran the team?
No way. It's not even. That's you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not even close. That's a joke. And I don't mean that towards you.
No, I know. I'm just asking the question.
That's a no-brainer. George
All right.
is going away.
Paul, I doubled down with sis, man. This stuff would not be tolerated. Aaron Boone would be gone.
No.
Girardi would have been gone. These guys, Judge, those guys wouldn't be signing these big contracts. Somebody's out there, he's going to get it. He's going to go for a championship. Yankees did nothing this year, so I'm with sis.
Sanchez would have been gone years ago.
Sanchez, right, would have been gone years ago. I'm with sis.
3-4 years ago.
Way better with George.
Kenny?
See this? This is my phone, which is representing George Steinbrenner's grave. Turning over in his grave by what the Yankees are doing. And that's how I feel about it. It's sickening as a Yankee fan to watch this. I'd rather see them bring up all the minor league kids and just play all these minor league kids than what they're trying to do here. I can't even. I can go on for hours talking about how disgusted I am with the Yankees.
Yeah,
So,
that could be a whole different topic.
Yeah, George definitely 1,000% ran the club better than Hal.
What do you think is the best division in baseball? Sis?
I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say the American League.
The East, the Central, or the West?
The East. Yeah.
Kurt?
It's tough. You know what? I always say pitching, right? So I got to go with that National League East, man. I mean, Phillies are going to be good. Atlanta and the Mets. I mean, listen, both of those teams, I believe, could be they could win the World Series. So I'm going to say NL East.
Okay. Kenny?
I would have went with Kurt if they didn't change to universal DH this year. So now I'm curious to see how much those pitchers in the National League's ERAs go up. So I'm going to and remember, these teams in the National League are adapting to a new rule. I'm going to go with the AL East because of the universal DH rule.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good response. I'll go along with you guys and say the American League East. I think, take the Orioles out, but I think the other four teams are going to knock off each other the whole season, and it's going to be really tight and competitive. And I think it's going to come down to the last couple of weeks of the season where all four of those teams are going to be in a dogfight to make the playoffs. So I'm going to say the American League East. Okay. Which team has the best starting lineup in baseball? I'll give you 5 teams in the American League and 5 in the National League. Yankees, Twins, White Sox, and Angels in the American League. Braves, Mets, Phillies, Brewers, or the Dodgers in the National League. Says
White Sox, Dodgers.
Kurt?
Did you say Toronto for the AL?
Yeah, Blue Jays.
All right, Blue Jays AL, but overall Dodgers.
Kenny?
Who are the other National League teams, Paul?
Braves, Mets, Phillies, Brewers, and the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dodgers. I'm with Sis. I like the White Sox lineup, but the Blue Jays, you can't go wrong with either one of them lineups. I'll tell you who's a sleeper here is the Phillies. That's
Yeah.
They got no pitching. They don't have the pitching that these other teams got, but they got Kyle Schwarber in that lineup now. You know, add to Bryce Harper and Reese Hoskins.
Yeah,
You know.
and they added Castellanos also.
Castellanos
By the way,
and
Paul, did you
Realmuto.
see that Dave Roberts from the Dodgers, basically he guaranteed a World Series
Yeah.
this year?
I did see that. I know.
So
Now,
He did that.
sometimes
He
you
did
got to
that
put your
because-
foot in it.
Yeah, he did that because he knows if you don't win it this year, he's gone anyway. So he's going to
Yeah.
guarantee one.
All right. Your favorite baseball movie of all time, Sis?
Field of Dreams.
Kurt?
can I say Bad News Bears?
You can say anything you want.
That's a baseball
Bad News
movie.
Bears.
The first one.
The first one.
Right.
But Major League, if I'm not a kids one, I'm going to go Major League.
Yeah.
I got two. Since Kurt stole mine with Major League,
Right.
Sandlot. You're
Yeah.
killing me, Smalls.
You guys know I never saw The Sandlot.
Shame on you.
That's a good movie.
Seen it.
Oh, Sis, we'll watch it. You'll love it. It's great.
I'm going to go with The Natural.
Great movie.
Yeah.
It's a good
Roy
one.
Hobbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last question is sort of along the lines of Kurt. Since baseball's starting next week, I want each of you to sing a song that's related to baseball. So, for example, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Sweet Caroline, the YMCA song the Yankees play, or any other baseball related song.
I can go first. I can go first.
All right. Oh, yeah. But okay, go ahead, Kenny.
I was just going to say, it's up to you.
Took mine,
New
Kenny.
York, New York. And the Yankees win a game. That's what they play. Frank Sinatra.
Perfect.
And not
Perfect.
feel it. Get chilled
That's-
every time you're at the stadium and you hear that song.
Perfect.
I'm just going to have to say this one, not for baseball reasons, but Sis, you don't even know this, Sis. I'm going to go back and I'm going to date us to, we're probably 22 years old, 23 years old.
Sis
We're
was
at-
22, 23 years old.
No. Me and Kenny were about 22,
Oh,
23
oh,
years
oh.
old.
Oh.
And we were at Sis, yes, the Bamboo Bar, and I will never forget Kenny Kirkpatrick in the middle of a circle singing while the song was on. Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum. And Sis, can you picture Kenny in the circle of about 40 people touching hands, like he had the hands in there, hands out, Bamboo Bar, about 22 years old.
Was that after 2 or 3 or 4 pina coladas?
Oh my God.
Well, they had these fishbowl
Fish
sized
bowls.
drinks that was mixed with all fruit flavored stuff. It was incredible. Incredible summer place.
That doesn't beat the night at the Marlin.
That's
When he
pretty
turned
close
around
too, Sis.
And he faced the entire crowd backward.
He did. He did.
That does not top that. Sorry.
Oh God. Kenny, you remember
Sis.
that night, Kenny? In
Yes,
Bamboo?
yes.
I'm so old, but I remember it. Yep. Take me out to the ball game. Buy me a jacket and some crack. I don't care if I see your crack closet. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes. You get on the railroad, you're gonna get jumped.
Great job, Sis. Hell of a
Great
job. Oh, Keith is saying a good one. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Oh,
That's a
nice.
great one.
Center
Yeah,
field.
That's great.
Oh, shit.
All right, now I have to ask Kurt Valenti this. He's gonna definitely have to come to my rescue.
Are you
down
wait?
here.
Is this muted, Kenny? Because I very barely
Yeah.
hear him.
No, he's not muted.
Okay, go ahead, sis.
You're gonna have to with your magic. There's no way that I'm watching the Baltimore Orioles down here this summer. 'Cause he hasn't been to the Yankees. I can't afford to go out to a bar every time the Yankees play.
Right.
So you're gonna have to give me some.
I got Major League Baseball TV app. I'll get him on there, Kurt. Don't worry. I got him.
Sis,
I
your
got him,
baseball will be over by the 4th inning of opening day. You'll be
Right,
done.
really.
You're done. You talk about, sis, you use the words watching paint dry. Oh,
Sis and I are going to go to some Oriole games for $5 mid-season.
they probably pay
exactly.
you $5 to go.
Right.
You'll make money going.
We'll go
They'll
see
give,
the
you
Orioles.
money they'll give you money to go, Eric.
That's
We'll
what
go
I'm
see the
saying.
we'll go see the Orioles and the Royals for $5.
They give you
Actually-
$10 to go.
Sis,
If you're a senior citizen, they give you money to go there. Go ahead. Paul.
it'll be cheaper to you to see the Yankees and Orioles down there than it is to go to Yankees.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, they say Camden Yard's beautiful.
It is a nice
Yeah.
stadium. I've been
Yeah,
there.
I've been there.
Yep.
So I'm gonna sing my song if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Something completely different. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking that ball, hitting those home runs over the wall. East side,
West side. Everybody's coming down.
to meet the METS Mets of New York Town.
And not
Great
only
job.
that, Paul, great job, but the Mets will run New York this season.
Oh,
Paul, the only
Kurt's
thing
mouth to
you were
Mets
missing,
ears.
Paul, the only thing you were missing was a can of Rhingo in your hand.
right, right.
Channel 9, I remember that.
Yep. All right, guys, that's it for me.
Nice job with that.
Great job.
That was awesome. All right, we got about roughly 10 minutes, I'll say. Maybe we'll try and end in 10 minutes, but we could do mock draft real quick, and then I got a Bronco Mania at the end of the show tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
Mock draft, we're picks 16 to 20. We've been doing this each week. Real quick, I'll do the way we draft orders went so far. The Jaguars took Neal from Alabama, Lions Aiden Hutchinson, Texans Wilson, the wide receiver from Ohio State. Jets took Stingley. Giants with their first pick took Kayvon Thibodeau. Carolina, Ike Ekwonu. G-Men second pick, Devin Lloyd. Falcons, Drake London. Seattle, Sauce Gardner. Jets took Jermaine Johnson. Washington took Malik Willis. Minnesota took Trey McBride. Houston, with Cleveland's pick, took Trayvon Walker. Ravens took Jordan Davis, the stud lineman. And the Eagles, with the first of their 3 picks, took Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame. Paul, you were going to start this week off with Philadelphia's second pick.
Okay. So with the 15th pick, the Eagles took defense and safety with Kyle Hamilton. So I think with the 16th pick, they looked to offense to give perhaps Jalen Hurts some more weapons. And it came down to a couple of big names on at wide receiver for me. One is a guy that's super explosive, but is coming off of a serious knee injury. Or the second one is a guy that has great speed, but also very polished in his route running. So it comes down to Chris Olave from Ohio State or Jamison Williams from the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I think for the 3rd straight year, the Eagles will go with the wide receiver, and I will select Jamison Williams and make Sis happy. He will add to the Alabama wide receiver contingent on the Eagles.
Great pick.
I'm up with the LA Chargers, and GM's kind of bummed I'm the GM because I had Jameson Williams listed for the Chargers because I figured he'd be there. I thought he would be the guy that would be able to take over for Keenan Allen in the long run. But second guy on our list is the guy that Paul just named, and that's Chris Olave. We're going to take Chris Olave, the wide receiver of Ohio State. Sis, you are up with Philadelphia's third of 3 first-round picks in the first round.
I'm going to take that kid from Georgia. His name is slipping my mind right now.
We were talking earlier, the linebacker, Nicole.
Yes.
Good pick.
Nicole
Who was that?
Dean. Nicole
Oh,
Dean.
Nicole Dean. Yeah.
So they would end up with a hell of a draft, in my opinion. If our mock draft, they get Kyle Hamilton, Jameson Williams, and Sis just took him right now, Nicole Dean.
That kid Dean's a stud, man.
That would be an A+ draft, in my opinion. I hope that doesn't happen, but it may. Kurt, you're up with the New Orleans Saints.
I'm gonna go a boring pick, but they just lost their big lineman Armstead to Miami, right, on a big deal.
Right.
So I'm gonna take. I know the kid Tyler Smith from Tulsa, but I'm gonna take the guys rated a little higher. Northern Iowa offensive tackle Trevor Penning, and they replace. By the way, you see who the Saints signed today or yesterday? Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Well, I think Trevor Penning reminds me of like Taylor Lewan, that type of tackle. Beelan's not here with us tonight, so I'm going to make the pick for him for the Steelers, and I hope I do him well. But I think this is a no-brainer for Pittsburgh, who, in my opinion, still needs a quarterback. They got Mitchell Trubisky as their starter. You don't know what you're going to get from them. And I think they got the guy to fall right into their lap that they want and probably have as a 1-1A with Malik Willis. And that's keep the kid home. Kenny Pickett out of University of Pittsburgh goes to the Steelers. I think it's a no-brainer. If he's there at 19, they're instantly making that call. They're not waiting for the clock to run to 0. I'm going to go Kenny Pickett to the Steelers. And that concludes our mock draft for this week.
Keith likes the Penning deal to New Orleans. He likes it. And Kenny, can I just say one thing real quick about that? You know, you're going to see a lot, like Pittsburgh is going to tell you a lot about Kenny Pickett, right? Because for 4 years, they share the facility with them, right? So they know him, they could talk to him, they see his work ethic, they see everything. So if they don't pick him, that's like a real, bad sign.
If he's there by one of these, by pick 13, 14, they should be moving up for him. That tells you something.
I agree.
If he's on the board by that and Pittsburgh's not trying to get him, that tells you something.
Right. And Keith's saying Pickett, Pickett, but he's saying Pickett's perfect for the Steelers.
Okay. Kurt, let's end the show tonight with Bronco Mania. And Sis and Paul, you guys can definitely answer these questions as well that I have.
By the way, it's Briggsy's Bronco Mania.
Briggsy's Bronco Mania. I did this last night off the top of my head. I said, I'm going to give Kurt some questions instead of him keep coming up with the topic. So I got 4 questions for you, Kurt. And again, Paul, Sis, you guys can answer too if you'd like. Kurt, question 1. Who do you think on the Broncos, and Keith, I know you're out there, you play along too. Who do you think will have the biggest impact on defense this year?
Any player?
Any player that's on the current Broncos roster.
I'm going to say Pat Surtain. I think he's going to be – I think he hands down already is maybe a top 5 corner in the league, and I think you're going to see it even a little more. I'm going to take Pat Surtain.
Paul, you got anybody else?
Yeah, as you were finishing the question, I wrote Pat Surtain, so I'm agreeing with Kurt.
I got to go with Bradley Chubb. I think he's got to make an impact this year. I mean, he's got to stay healthy. It's time for him to put up or shut up, you know?
Yep.
And make an impact. So I'm going to go Bradley Chubb I don't know if you like that pick there, Kurt.
No, I no. Listen, I agree. I just think when you ask me, I just think Surtain, like he might be one of the best at the end of this year. I think he's going to be talked about as one of the top corners in the league. But yeah, I listen. Chubb has to listen. Chubb's playing for a second deal, so he better step up.
Sis, you want to add anything tonight? You think Kurt nailed it, or Chubb, or Sertan, or somebody else?
Just watch my hand. See?
Sertan.
That's
Sertan.
it. That's it. He's going
There you go.
Surtain with Bama.
My second question for you, Kurt, and everybody else. Who will emerge as Russell Wilson's favorite target this year?
Oh, I can't wait to answer this question.
By the way, Keith is saying Justin Simmons on defense. His favorite target? I'm going to go out on a limb. You know who I'm going to say? Is Jerry Jeudy.
My thunder.
Sis's boy.
Oh, my thunder.
I mean, and you know what? People are already in the press conference. He said,
you.
Jerry Judy's unbelievable or great or unbelievable. Again, Jerry Jeudy is getting, he hasn't been great. Well, when you have the worst quarterbacks in football throwing you the ball, now it's a different animal. This kid is uncoverable. I'm going Jeudy.
Sis, he stole your thunder. You want to add anything? To
I mean, again, and I'm not bragging or whatever. You just keep talking. It's Alabama. The guy produces professional athletes. Enough said.
Keith saying Tim Patrick. He's the closest to Lockett on the roster.
Paul, you want to add somebody different, or?
I was going to say Jeudy, but I read something today that there's sort of rumblings in Seattle about Metcalf and another contract. Could you see, Kurt, the possibility that Denver could reach out and
oh my God,
to get Metcalf to come to Denver?
Oh my God!
Four wides every game.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you.
Hey, you know what? Listen, if Russ wants him, I mean, you make a move, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Russ is getting. By the way, our good friend Caleb Davis is saying Albert O, the tight end.
Albert O, that's a good one.
He's a good. He's a big tight end guy.
He's made Will Disley good. He's made those tight ends good.
Jimmy Graham when he was out there.
Sis, you're gonna love this one. When I read one of the guys on 104.3 The Fan this week. I don't know if the Colorado guys heard it, but he said the guy they would go and sign is Rob Gronkowski to give him that tight end blanket that Albert O's a little young, and they're saying that should be the guy Russell Wilson goes and gets.
Mm.
That's interesting.
They're gonna be run and shoot. They don't need him.
Paul, did you have anybody, or?
I said Jeudy, but again, that rumbling of Metcalf.
Yeah.
But,
I like the Albert O pick by Caleb there.
Yeah.
That was going to be mine.
Yeah.
My third question, Kurt. Give me one position player, no quarterback, from the past, on offense first, and then defense, that you would not that you would want starting in 2022 for your Denver Broncos.
Offense would be, because we just said we need one, I'm going to go Shannon Sharp.
Oh, that's good.
And defense, you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but what this defense needs is one thing, and that's number 53, baby. Bill Romanowski and that middle linebacker, that attitude, that get in your face, set the tone. We're missing him. And I know that's why a lot of people are saying they still want Bobby Wagner. I know he wants a lot of money, but like a Bobby Wagner type guy. And that was Romanowski, right? I mean, Romanowski, listen, that he changed that defense. I'm going to go Romanowski and Shannon Sharp would be my two.
And he wasn't a big guy, but he was one tough son of a gun.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what he had, that toughness, man.
Yep.
I'm going to 1,000,000% agree with you with Shannon Sharp, but my guy on defense would be Carl Mecklenburg. I think he would step in and fire Bradley Chubb, or you-know-what, up his behind.
Yep.
And get him to be the player he should be. Sis, who do you think the Broncos?
You just took my pick.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Getting a little tired of people taking my picks on this show. Go ahead.
Well,
I have a guy that I think Kurt would still love, Steve Atwater.
Oh yeah, put
Oh
him in
my
a
God.
put him in that secondary, baby. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think he would be on this team. He would be phenomenal. And you talk about receiver that someone like Russell Wilson would be able to
Eddie
rely
Mack,
on. What's that?
McCaffrey.
No, I'm thinking Thomas.
Okay, DT. Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas.
Caleb is saying Terrell Davis, Kenny.
well, Davis is
Yes.
he would solidify that running game. I mean, you got a nice little running game right now, but imagine Davis on that team.
Yeah.
Doing the salute. My last question, Kurt, to end Bronco Mania tonight. Does an inexperienced coaching staff scare you at all this year? A lot of good teams in the AFC and an inexperienced coaching staff, a defensive coordinator who's never been a defensive coordinator, head coach who's never been a head coach. Does it scare you a little bit that
I
the
mean,
inexperience?
it scares me a little, of course, because of like you're just saying, like the experience. But on the offense, I'm not, because listen, they're running a lot of things through Russ, and I think Hackett's gonna let Russ run a lot of things. I mean, they said it already. They're not running Hackett's offense. They're basically asking Russ, we're going to fill around your offense. I mean, remember, Hackett was around Aaron Rodgers. Hackett was around Matt LaFleur. Like, I think you get those quarterbacks just like they do with Brady, just like they do with Rodgers, just like they did with Peyton. Let those guys run the offense while he's learning the ropes. Defensively, I mean, it's just so much talent, and listen, be aggressive, right? I mean, so Evero, yeah, I do. But listen, I'd rather have this than Fangio 60 years and Shermer, and I'd rather have this, yes. Keith saying the coaching staff excites me. Nice to see change towards today's NFL. So, I mean, maybe, but we got that quarterback, and I think the quarterback slows everything down. He's the coach on the field, so I'm going to say not as much.
What about you, Sis? Do you think that the Bronco fans should
I
be a little
think,
nervous?
real simple, I think time will tell.
Yeah. And Paul?
When you have a guy like Russell Wilson, that you have an extension of a coach out on the field. I mean, there isn't anything that he's going to look at and see now that he hasn't witnessed or seen before. So having that experience,
Great point.
What's that?
That's a great point.
Yeah, thanks. So I think that while you may have an inexperienced head coach, I think ultimately anything that he may do or may not do, a guy like Russell Wilson, having him there is going to cover up for a lot of possible mistakes.
Yeah, you guys just nailed everything. I'm not going to really have anything to add. I mean, I agree. I mean, Russell Wilson there. If it was, no knock on Drew Lock, but if Drew Lock was running the team with an inexperienced coaching staff, I'd be a little worried.
That's an issue.
I'd be a little worried. But this guy's a true veteran. Sis and I were talking about it earlier. A true professional. He stays out of trouble. He's a leader. And you know what? A leader is going to help a new coaching staff, and a new coaching positions where the Broncos are with Daniel Hackett and their coaching staff. So I do think they'll be okay in the short run and the long run. I think you're all going to be okay and very happy in Denver this upcoming season with Mr. Russell Wilson. Anybody got anything else for Bronco Mania? That was my little take on it tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, Kurt.
Good job, Kenny.
Yep, very good. Couple comments coming in. Caleb is asking, Kenny, I'll answer you this one because you didn't answer any question. He's asking, is Russell Wilson being underappreciated?
I don't know if he's underappreciated, but I think the guy's a little underrated, if that sounds crazy. I mean, I think the guy has an argument to say he's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's never had a losing season except his broken finger season.
And you know what? This is what matters, right? And they say like this whole thing, let Russ cook and yada yada and all that. But Pete Carroll, he's basically like is like a Fangio. He wants to play it his way. I want to run the ball. I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm going to play my defense. I'm going to be in every game. That's how he is. So I think when you look at it, although like people are like he never got an MVP vote, but listen. And I also think nothing against that Seattle championship team. I mean, hey, they beat the hell out of us, and they were obviously a tremendous team. They went back to back, but he never had an offensive line like this. I don't know if he ever had weapons as much as we have on that offensive.
No.
I think he's going to be an MVP candidate this year. I do. I believe.
You nailed it. You nailed it with the offensive line. And Paul, we've had the arguments with Giant fans. You need an offensive line. He's never had an offensive line in Seattle.
Yeah.
Nope.
The guy's running for his life and making plays. To me, he's top three, if not the best quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it.
On and off the field. On and off the field. The guy's a professional off the field as well.
Wasn't he Man of the Year?
Yes, Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Walter Payton.
Oh, he's very big
that's
off the
his
field. He's like big with the community stuff, the community service stuff.
And that's what you need. That's what you need as a leader of your team. Want to do final thoughts, Kurt?
Yeah, final thoughts. You know what? Let's let Mr. Siciliano go first.
Good show tonight. A lot of good talking. I'm very happy to see that Kurt is on first name basis with Mr. Wilson. He calls him Rob. I like that. Yeah. And, we'll be on tomorrow night. But for you other people on the show, enjoy the games over the weekend. Kurt, is there a game on Saturday?
Both games on Saturday.
They are on Saturday.
They're both Saturday. Saturday and Monday is the championship.
Well, again, enjoy those games, everybody that's on the show, and have a good night. Thank you.
I'll go next, Kenny. Just like Sis said, make sure you're watching those games Saturday. But, guys, I'm telling you, and anybody watching, Friday night, put that 9:30 game on, Stanford, UConn. That game is going to be unbelievable. I mean, I was like going out of my seat the other night watching UConn, NC State. I was just like, this is one of the best games. You watch Paige Beckers. I mean, she's insane. Player of the year as a freshman. Just phenomenal. And, hey, great game, great show, guys, always. And, listen, I don't have to worry about the NFL draft this year. I don't start coming in until Peck 64, and I'm friggin' damn happy about it because we got Russell effing Wilson as our quarterback, baby. Mr. Rosen, final thoughts.
I'm so jealous. Anyway, great fun show tonight, guys. Appreciate it. The weekend should be phenomenal. Can't wait to look forward to the games. And baseball starts next week, and that should be fun. And let's go.
I forgot this, Paul, by the way. So Saturday, Sis said both of the semifinals are on. Sunday night will obviously be the women's championship game and Mr. Kirkpatrick, WrestleMania. So Saturday and Sunday, WrestleMania. 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday.
Here, I can tell you that.
What if Kenny buys it?
I'll unplug everything down here.
Keith is saying, let's ride. That's the slogan in Colorado, baby.
And if he wants to watch that.
Nah, we're good.
Go ahead, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Your final thoughts.
Like Sis said, great show tonight. Enjoyed it. You wonder, you go into the weeks and you're like, oh, man, this is going to be a slow week of sports. We just got the Final Four. What else are we going to talk about? Well, 4 great sports knowledgeable people come up with segments, and look what happens. We have an hour and a half that just flew by. But like Kurt said, enjoy the games. Paul, don't be so jealous because this is how the draft's going to work. It's going to be a bold prediction how the Giants draft's going to work. At 5, we're going to take Sis's boy from Alabama, Mr. Neal.
Okay.
At number 7, there's going to be quarterbacks now that somebody's going to want a quarterback, and they're going to jump up to number 7. The Giants going to move back a few spots, get an edge rusher, and get that team's next year's number 1 pick. And with those 2 picks that the Giants have next year, we're going to find a way to get Bryce Young as our quarterback of the future for the New York Giants.
That sounds like a plan.
Kenny, by the way,
That's my
Keith
final
Brugman,
thought.
Keith is saying NASCAR heads to Richmond this Sunday. So another event, which Kenny, we want to get a little NASCAR on the show, right? We're going to have a
Keith,
guest
I'm working
soon.
on getting one of my good friends on the show, Caesar Baccarella, Prime Auto Xfinity Series driver. We went to school with him. He's a team owner and driver now for Xfinity at Alpha Prime Racing. Check them out.
All right, boys. Great show.
We will see you tomorrow and next week.
All right.
See you guys tomorrow and next week.